Hey guys, I'm Doctor McFarland and welcome back to another adventure on the Boss GT1000. Now, this is a new unit to me. I've only had it for a few months and this is on loan from Zounds.com, so I will have to send this back. But I do have plans to buy a GT1000 core very soon for a pedal board build that is going to have a new series very soon as well. So once I get all the pieces together, I'm going to start putting it together and it's going to be very fun. So be sure to subscribe down below to this channel if you want to see more videos on pedal boards, pedals, digital modeling, guitars, 7-string guitars. Look at this beauty. This thing is the Kiesel A2 7-string. Very cool. But what I have here on the screen is the Boss Tone Studio. I just find with really capturing any kind of modeling unit with a glaring screen, it's kind of hard for the camera to always pick that up. So if you can have a onboard editor like the Boss does, and like Headrush now has, and the Helix has, and the Toastmaster Pro, and the Kemper, and the Fractal, and really every modeler on the market really should have some kind of editor attached to it. And thankfully the Boss does here. So what we're going to do today is actually build an ambient patch. Now I went searching all over YouTube for ambient swell patches for the Boss GT1000 and there's just not a lot out there. So what we're going to do is just dial in my version of what that could sound like. And I typically have, lots of delay, lots of reverb, an auto volume echo kind of sound that harkened back to the DL4 days of line 6. But thankfully the Boss has a slow gear effect, which is essentially just a swell type effect. So that's going to be great. And we can actually go ahead and assign that to one of these. Let's go ahead and do it on effects 1 here. Okay, so going down, we want to find the slow gear. Okay, and it's just a very simple 3 parameter option. But what it sounds like is this. Okay, so this is the automatic way of swelling in your sound. And the rise time is going to determine how fast that swells in. So if we go all the way up to 100, okay, that might work. Maybe let's do like 80, I don't know, somewhere in the 80, 90 range. And actually bump up the level a little bit. Okay, great. Now let's go ahead and click that off. And we are on the top row of our divider. We can do a single mode or we can do a dual mode where we have 2 different amps, which might be actually kind of neat. So the first amp, let's actually go to single mode first. The top amp, we're set to natural and is fairly dirty right now because I have the gain up pretty high. So this is what this sounds like. Okay, maybe not that crunchy. Let's bring it down to like around 60 or so. We're going to put the sag all the way up just because I think sag introduces a lot more dynamics, a lot more power amp, squish and feel to the sound. And then, we can mess with the resonance. We can bring down the bass, bring up the treble, stuff like that. So. Okay, we do not have to have a dual amp. We just don't. But what we can do is let's go down to B, and we're not going to set that to maximum. We're going to set it to a deluxe combo. How about that? So So this already has like a woodier type sound to it. And it is breaking up just a little bit. Let's bring the bass down, turn the treble up. Cool. Now, if we got both of these amps at the same time, we now have this. I'm liking that already. Let's go to compression. And let's see, let's bring the attack pretty slow. Yeah, it's good. If we turn it off, usually compression can add some more volume to the front end of the amp, which could potentially drive it up, but all right, that's really nice. Now, you can have distortion pedals, before the amp. You can have an EQ. There's multiple delays here, which is kind of nuts. Let's scroll over. And you can see that there's dividers here. Okay. Now, what are we going to do here? We want a dual divider. Or do we? So if I take one of these delays and put it here. Okay, so now I have a delay on one side. And I have a delay on the other side. And we can turn those on. Okay, so check this out. We're going to make the time, get these subdivisions going here. We got one quarter note. Okay, not too bad. We'll make sure this one is on as well. And we'll scroll down to like a dotted eighth. Maybe knock off some high end, which is always nice. Okay, let's put this reverb after our delays. We'll crank up the time. We're going to crank up the effect level for sure. Okay. There's not tons of different algorithms. There is an ambient one here, which that one's actually kind of nice. The only thing I wish that the GT1000 family had was at least 2 different reverb blocks. I mean, yeah, they give us technically 5 delays, but I want one more reverb because I want to always on reverb. Then I want a second reverb that might be way longer. Maybe it has shimmer in it, whatever else. So it is what it is. Now the master delay does kind of give you some other things. So we have a delay, obviously, but then we also have a shimmer in there. There's a warm, a glitch, a space echo. Let's just see what that sounds like. Let's see, turn up the effect level here. Maybe turn down this effect level. Something like that. That's, it is what it is. Let's do a shimmer here. Now. All right, so the time is, if the longer the time, the longer it's going to take for that shimmer to come in. Okay, which I don't necessarily want. I want the time to be nice and short so it comes in immediately. And then we can tuck the effect away by bringing down the effect level. Okay, let's bring up some mod depth here. Bring down the effect more. Okay, I don't want a whole lot of stuff going on. Okay, pretty nice. We can also get some dual delay things going here. I wish there was a better way. Gotta use my mouse wheel to do this. Let's make this be like a half note. Okay. Turn down the effect. Make the high cut pretty drastic. Okay. Really just playing around here. Let's bring this back up. Alright, so we have the delays over here, which are in parallel. They're not in series, so they're not really affecting each other. But the master delay, this is such a shimmer. And maybe bring the effect back up a little bit on this one. We got pitch feedback. Let's duck it down a little bit more. Going back to our slow gear. And the rise time is going to be nice and slow. I'm hearing some weird stuff. Let's turn off the harmonist. Yeah. I'm liking it. I mean, there you can really go wild adding all kinds of stuff. Maybe we want maybe we just want a chorus in there and put it after the amps. It's kind of nice. Bring down the effect level. Bring down the sensitivity on that slow gear. Okay, so you can clearly see that you can go overboard like I've done here. But even if you just have a simple reverb and a delay in the slow gear, giving you that auto swell type effect, and then you got a little bit of compression before the amps, just kind of squishing everything together, you can go a long way with this kind of sound, which is nice. It does sound really good. And the more I use the GT stuff, the Boss stuff, it just keeps getting more and more easier. More and more easier. That's not English, but whatever. So, yeah, I'm liking this ecosystem. I'm liking the Boss products. I've had Boss products for years. I had the Boss ES8, which was a pedal switcher. You plug all your pedals into it. You can set up presets and not really scenes or snapshots, but they had different presets and whatever you can dial in there. I've had the Boss MS3. I've had tons of Boss pedals over the years. So, and I've owned all the other Maulers on the market at this point. So now getting into the Boss GT1000, kind of range of products. I'm just dipping my toes in, seeing what's available, and I'm really liking the sounds. At first play, when you just first turn it on and check things out, you do kind of have to tweak the amps just a little bit, maybe turn up the sag to get more dynamics in your playing. But I mean, all the effects are just classic Boss effects, and the amps, though they are not named to really what they're based on, like real life of amps. The amp sounds themselves are really, really good. And at this point, I don't really care what you call them. They just sound really good. So if you like this sound, I will try to make it available on my website, drmcfarlandstudios.com. And if you want to see more videos on the Boss GT1000 and also the GT1000 Core, which I will be getting very soon, be sure to subscribe to the channel down below and check the links in the description if you want to help support the channel. So until next time, I'm Dr. McFarland. I will see you in the next video. Keep rocking.